Hi everybody and welcome to Des and Lauren. We're going to be discussing a very scary development that's happened that makes science fiction a reality.
Eyeballs, orbs, and all sorts of weird things. But this is all very real, and if you were in Nairobi, Kenya, you would be seeing long lines of people standing to have their eyeballs scanned by a silver orb produced by Sam Altman, the founder of Open AI and ChatGPT.
And this is a man that has gotten the ear of many influential world leaders.
Well, world leaders. He's actually touring the world right now, speaking to them directly. And there was big news because he's Jewish and he was going to Israel to meet with the president there, but he did not meet with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. They had a phone call discussing AI necessities in the world and how governments can use it for control.
If you weren't convinced that corporations control governments, then hopefully these articles, which we'll be bringing you today, will convince you.
So we'll be focusing on one main article, but I'll read the headlines from many others, and then you go and do the research.
Definitely. This is Bloomberg. Don't scan your eyeballs for WorldCoin's magic beans.
So they actually tell you, don't do it, people. So if you see this orb somewhere and someone is trying to entice you to scan your eyeball because it's part of a company's promotion, and the people in Kenya, they're actually giving them a certain amount of crypto tokens that's worth so many dollars. So don't think that there isn't money to go around. You can print as much as you want when you want people's data.
So WorldCoin is a company that's raised more than $100 million from some of the most famous investors in Silicon Valley. On July 24th, amid warnings that its technology is represented a potential privacy nightmare, reports of deceptive sales tactics that target desperate people who don't understand the technology or its potential risks, and the general common sense idea that one shouldn't scan one's eyeball in exchange for the equivalent of digital magic beans. WorldCoin's creator, Tools for Humanity, went ahead and introduced its global eyeball scanning project anyway.
So many people warn about this, and this is actually interesting. Many European countries warned their people, and I have an article open where a party in Germany said, don't do this, you're giving control to a global government. And I'm just going to read through a few headlines here. The one is from NPR.org, Silicon Valley's latest hype. Eyeball scanning silver orbs to confirm you're human. Come on, people. And then on WFXRT TV, WorldCoin scans eyeball and offers crypto. What to know about the project from Open AI's CEO. And then from the New York Times, crypto's next craze, orbs that scan your eyeballs. And then we have the Bloomberg article, and then we have on Reclaim the Net, Germany's AfD party says, WorldCoin eyeball scanning is for global surveillance of people. And then it speaks of controversial eyeball scanning WorldCoin to allow governments to use its digital ID system. So this is how they're luring governments in, and this is why Sam Altman is touring the world, speaking to all the world governmental leaders, him as someone telling them, dudes, we already controlling the world. My AI system is looking after all of your interests. We will give you this data. We will give you the technology. Just allow us to roll this out in your country.
And I can imagine certain politicians in this country, specifically in this province, can't wait
goodness,
to get their hands on this.
The DA are going to die to get their hands on this. And the thing is here that you then get a global digital ID. All the things I have actually been framed as someone that spreads conspiracy theories for saying that a global digital ID with what was it called, Project 2021? The global digital IDs for 2021, because this is when people were planning on rolling this out, and they obviously didn't have all the technology ready. And now we can see how easy this is to roll out this global digital ID. So with an app on your flippin' phone, I kid you not, you can now have your eyeball scanned at this orb, and once that is done, it will confirm that you are human and that you are a unique global citizen. I think over 2 million idiots have already scanned themselves.
Yes, it says the company has collected roughly 2.2 million retinal scans to date. The critics,
in a week, like.
critics have asked why exactly anyone would scan their eyeballs, and regulators have asked whether WorldCoin is being sufficiently careful with users' private information. So far, authorities in the UK and Germany have announced investigations, as well as France. The legality of this collection seems questionable. So, the countries seem to be saying the right things right now until they have figured out a legal way
They are
around
handed
it.
out the power themselves.
They are, not
and
just
they
that.
can
I
control.
think they're busy meeting together, and this is just my hypothesis, figuring out how to make this legal and how to sell it to the public. And then you'll see it rolled out across the world, even in the poorest countries. It's frightening.
But once that happens, you literally have a global citizenry that you can monitor anywhere. And when you have governments like our city of Cape Town government that puts up cameras on national roads that can just short of scan your eyeball, it can certainly do facial recognition, then you're very close to that point already.
And then if you look at your social media footprint that we've had over the past decade, the world government will be able to tell exactly who's a risk to the status quo and who's not. I think we'll all have some kind of a score.
I wonder how long it's going to take before we get these disclaimers removed at the bottom of our videos when we talk about a new world order being created. This scam of people believing that there is a plan to create a one world government.
You're not allowed to say that.
For Pete's sake.
Because it's a non-binding
Yeah, you're
contract.
not allowed to. The World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, tells you that this is what they want to do. The European Union, the United Nations, many world leaders tell you that we should create a global governance system openly.
The fact checkers will say they're not forcing governments.
But I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but that's what the fact check is. If you type, you can type
Is
this.
it?
So please do this exercise. Go to
Yeah.
Google, Google fact check, and then in their little search icon for fact checking, Google things like Agenda 21, New World Order, global government. Google those things and just see what comes up. It's definitely an education.
It's such a farce.
It's basically, it's just a play on in words more than anything.
Banana Internet Republic. And the cable, just to give you an update on the cable, people, the ship is on the other side of Africa, the one ship that can repair it, so it needs to make its way all the way around before it can start its repairs.
So we're stuck with slow internet a little longer. In an interview with Bloomberg TV, Chief Executive Officer Alex Blania acknowledged that while it might seem, very creepy to amass a giant collection of eyeball data, this was just like a perception thing that we will eventually get over, and I'm afraid he's right.
He's right. People will just
most
lap this
people
up
will just
and
accept it.
it'll just become the norm.
This is the problem. The very science fiction novels that have warned us for the future has also prepared us to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of us being outraged and taking to the streets, we just accept it and we adapt. Not adapt or die, it's more like adapt and die.
Yeah.
There is this immediate reaction to biometrics, and specifically our scanning, he said. However, the technology is actually privacy preserving, and we believe it's going to become very, very important. Yes, because
Privacy preserving.
you won't be able to think outside social confines that have been predetermined by this government system.
Yeah, we'll give you a link to this article and you'll see these pictures where it shows the world map saying for every human. In other words, no human will be left behind. Everyone's eyeballs will be scanned.
Here's the reasoning for
I can just see this woman giving birth and they're standing ready with a scanner, the poor baby.
injection in one hand and a scanner in the
Scanner
other.
in the other, yeah.
Once you have your world ID, then things really get exciting. So there's a little bit
There they say it. World ID, people. World ID. But you are a conspiracy theorist. We are conspiring against this new order being created.
Anyway, Bloomberg says there's nothing you can do with your world ID right now. But the company's founders say that in the future, when artificial intelligence bots run amok and make it otherwise impossible to tell who is or isn't a human being, you'll be glad to have it.
Oh, what a nice selling point.
So-
They create the problem. They are the people that created Open AI and ChatGPT.
Exactly. Yes, the only thing
And
standing
then they create the solution.
the only thing standing between your humanness and being mistaken for ChatGPT will be that string of characters, your world ID. It isn't.
People, just join what we are doing, okay? So we can mitigate this madness. That's all I can say. Join us in this community and join us for the training that'll start in September.
Yes, the article goes on and on and on and on. We're going to probably give you quite a few links to a few different articles.
Many.
So you can get different perspectives and watch this development as it progresses.
If you don't take this as super seriously, then maybe skip this channel. It'll be a waste of your time.
I'm just thinking of the movie Angry Birds, which I've spoken about in a live stream. I'm thinking of the slingshots they use as transportation to get around, and then shipping these things back to America from the coast. We need to think of how we're going to circumnavigate this.
10-pin bowling. There's many,
We'll figure it out.
big baseball bats.
It takes work.
Wing and swing.
I think we just need to highlight that
frick.
there's no single person or organization that's going to save you from this nightmare that's being developed. Governments will accept anything because they have no brains or intellect of their own.
Just join own people, join the organic humanity movement.
It's hard work from every single human being.
We're going to fight idiots that have been blindsided by political parties, not just in South Africa, but around the world. We're going to be fighting these brainwashed idiots. And I've been an idiot many times in my life, so I can admit it openly. But you're an idiot if you think that this is not going to remove all your freedom in future. If you believe this guy's intentions, go and watch my Moments in Time series of videos and see how the Bavarian Illuminati, who's not a conspiracy, was a real organization with real documentation behind it, how they came up with these plans that have come about over centuries. It's unbelievable that it's true. I mean, I actually can't believe that it has happened. It is insane.
Yeah, so we have an interesting future ahead of us, and it's going to, like I say, take work from all of us, working towards making other people aware to begin with, just to begin with, because a lot of people want to believe that it's not going to actually happen, and a lot of people just don't comprehend the dangers and the threat to South Africa's sovereignty. We don't have sovereignty right now, and that's what we need more than anything.
And as annoyed as I've been with the things that my dad believed and the things that he said, the things that he warned about with regards to this was spot on. He knew that these plans were made many decades ago and warned of them, and said that we need to be able to set ourselves apart from that. In other words, not live elsewhere, but set ourselves apart. In other words, say that we are not going to accept this global dystopia, that we will behave differently, that we will want differently, that we will live differently. And we can absolutely do that, especially in the southern tip of Africa. You can come join us from wherever you're living. Many people have returned to South Africa because of the information we've made available. Unique information you will only find on this channel. You will find it nowhere else. And I've discovered a lot more. And I will be sharing that with you in time. I'm working through a lot of documents right now, and I will decide what I can bring you, what is safe to bring you, and bring you up to speed with the latest information that we do have. People, join us. That's all I can say. You can do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, if you don't want the EFF, the ANC, the DA, and all the other parties in this specific country to just give in to these people, because they'll give them more power, and that's what they want.
Because they don't, none of the parties currently represented in government, as far as I can understand, care about changing the system that will help South Africa become independent, strong, and sovereign.
Not a single one of them. Only the Organic Humanity Movement is doing that. So join us at home. We will give the website link below this video, as well as we will give you the email to Omega, where we will do training to make you aware of these things. And the first module that we do is spotting the enemy, knowing who the enemy is and what the enemy is.
Although we'll be sweetening up the title for the public because we want it on a public platform.
Yes, so the public will get training. It's all for free, and then the own members will get in-depth training. And
also free.
Yeah, also free. That process starts in September, so around the corner, people. It's just over 2 weeks away.
Around the corner, so let's get to work. Thank you so much for watching
Yeah.
this video. Subscribe and share and just have these conversations with people. Make yourself aware first and then talk to other people about it, wherever you might be, shops, at school, at work, wherever. We need as many people as possible to understand the threat to South Africa